9 o'clock. I'll call the Harrison County Commission meeting for Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023 to order. If you will rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
Today is in our some of our churches what we call Ash Wednesday. It's the beginning of Lent, 40 days before Easter, and it reminds us that from dirt we came, and from dirt we will return. This past week we lost one of our colleagues and brothers, Dave Harris, officially Unit 80. Much like all officers and firemen, their unit is retired when they pass on from us here. And rather than pray today, I would just ask that we all reflect on how fragile and how fast life is, and that we think about Dave and ourselves and reflect on this life and what the people mean to us when the last call comes. Not just from the 911 center, but life in general. So if we could take just one moment and pause and then do the pledge, I would appreciate it. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, under new business number 1, public comment. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak?
Oh, yeah, let's speak real fast.
You don't have to sign up. You
Are
can
you
just,
sure?
just give the record your name.
Okay, I was late. I brought scissors to the courthouse. My getting scissors, I had to, yeah. I think I got you business card yesterday. Wonderful. Hi, Wendy.
So we only let 9mm.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, all right. I'll remember next time, bring my shears. Yeah, these are just little thing scissors. No, I just came so that you know I work with Mansion now, and the community funded project, the congressionally directed spending is open. And they're due, I believe, the 12th, March the 12th. And Commissioner Thomas, I thought that 4-H barn might be, if you haven't applied for the 4-H farm before that way, that might be a good way to do it. And I can reach out to you directly. Like,
Okay,
give
well,
you
I was
some more
gonna.
information about
okay.
it. They have, I don't have a training until next week. So we could talk before that, and I can gather some questions and then attend the training, and then I can get back to you with like better information if that's something you want to pursue.
Definitely.
Okay, that's all I had.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate it. Wendy.
Sorry I'm late. I really
That's all right.
didn't mean to be.
Okay, is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Hearing none, we will move to number 2, consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Payroll changes. We have A, B, and C under number 3. It's a pleasure.
Move to approve.
Motion.
B and C.
Motion to approve payroll changes A, B, and C. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meetings, meetings, I guess.
Move to approve minutes A, B, C, D, and E as presented.
Okay, motion to approve minutes A, B, C, D, and E as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Okay, number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices. Under A, vendor requisition list of payments.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve requisitions under A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 6, it appears under exonerations and corrective tickets, appears that A and B is all we have. There are none for C. Is that correct? No joint application.
That is correct.
Motion to approve A and B, please.
Motion to approve A and B. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 7, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District Series 2021 A and B Development District Number 3 White Oaks Project Number 2 and Series 2008A Charles Point Project Number 2 Northland Bay Improvements A and B. What's the pleasure?
Motion to approve A and B, please.
Motion to approve A and B. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 8, review, discuss, consider GSA update potential executive session pursuant to 69A4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which if made public might adversely affect the financial or other interest of the county. We have A, application and certification for payment of furnishings for the GSA building, and B, update from the Harrison County IT Department on their progress at the GSA. So, but do you want to take up A first?
Yes, ma'am. So we received an application certification for payment for the furniture in the amount of $412,000, $519.86. I have reached out to Trey to review and also gentleman that we helping oversee
Oh, gotcha.
over there.
Ralph.
Yes, Ralph Peterson, thank you. It is his recommendation that we do pay this application. I know there's reservations because not all of the furniture is where it is supposed to be and unboxed and things like that. But it is Ralph's recommendation that we go ahead and pay this. Trey, would you like to give your input on this pay application?
The owner's engineer and architect has also recommended payment. The FF&E contract, it's a separate contract. It's not integrated into the broader contract with Rycon, and they have delivered the 10% retainage would be kept as recommended by the owner's architect and engineer, and not paid until installation occurs for the remaining equipment. Laura and I have talked about a schedule for that briefly, but that's also dependent upon substantial completion.
Right.
Madam President, do you want 2 separate motions on this? Because
Well, I don't think that there is any action. Is there going to be any action on B?
no,
Okay.
So motion to approve A.
Any action on B, so I just think we need to.
okay, motion to approve A, please.
Has the commission been over to see the state of the office equipment that we're talking about paying for? I've been through doing and I've seen the house just laying around, hadn't been installed, some damaged.
I've been over and seen some of it installed. I believe some of the clerk's office is installed, the assessor's office is installed.
So we're gonna hold back $45,000 for them to finish the job up. Is that what we're talking about?
Correct.
10%, correct.
They haven't done 70% of just 70% of the work yet. So why are we paying them for work they haven't done?
You're referring to the installation.
It's all part of the contract, isn't it?
The installation is certainly part of the contract. The bulk of the contract, as I read it, is the providing of the FF&E.
And
And it's,
who's gone around and actually verified that the furniture's there and it's what we ordered?
yeah, under the contracts, Commissioner Hinkle, there were specific deadlines upon delivery for the commission to do that. Once the equipment was delivered to the county, to the GSA. I haven't seen a schedule where somebody's gone through and kind of checked the boxes on all of it, but I can't really give you a definitive answer, but it is there. They have delivered physically.
We assume that it's there.
I believe the owner's engineer and architect, it's their job to do that, and they've recommended payments, but I haven't seen from Silling a sheet which says assessor got
Yeah, has an inventory list. is what
50
you're saying.
chairs, yes. I
Yeah,
haven't
is
seen
there an
it.
inventory list?
There
Laura?
isn't.
And you have maybe Billy go over and do an inventory list?
We can.
Yeah, I agree. Is the basement still leaking water?
No, it hasn't been recently.
And how about the elevator? Does it work yet?
Not sure about the elevator. Last week they did install the gas meter and ran the new gas line. Yesterday they poured the concrete for the sidewalk to finish up that. And I believe, I know testing should be later this week on the rooftop units that we have. I'm not sure that it is scheduled yet for the generator to be tested. to make
So
sure
the
that-
gas is in place now for the generator to actually work?
Yes, sir.
And then is the electrical up to par now? Since you're having electrical issues?
As far as my knowledge, everything is good. With that.
So the only thing you're waiting on now is the generator to work and the elevator?
And I think we still have the back door issue, the handicap lift off Washington. I'll have to get an update on the door for that lift.
I think there's a lot of small odds and ends that need to be.
I'd like to make a motion that we table this to the next meeting and have staff verify that we have everything.
So the motion's been made to table 8A
Yes, ma'am.
until we can make sure that we have, staff has been able to go and make sure we have all the furniture. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Number 9, consideration of approval of project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the General Services Administration Building Project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued for the Harrison County Building Commission, A and B.
Madam President, we still have 8B.
Oh, sorry, Charlie. No pun intended, but
We went over there yesterday and did a walkthrough of the building to see how much is done for us, where we put stuff in. And first floor, a couple little things that we can put equipment in. Have changed since I was over there 2 weeks ago. They've been in there and they've worked on the stuff. Second floor, it's about 90% complete to put stuff in. The third floor is only about 50%. The commission side's done. The other side, the desks are laying apart and everything.
still the same.
Yeah, so we can start setting computers. I'm missing power supplies for our switches. Some of the components that goes into the power supplies came from Ukraine, the other from China. Nobody was shipping anything for a while. So we're up on the list to get them. We should be getting them. I asked for another update, but they've been giving me updates every 2 or 3 days when they're supposed to be here. So he told me probably at the end of the month, we should be getting them. We got enough to bring up some of the computers over there. I don't have enough to bring up everything. Probably get 30% maybe. Now, Enterasys or Extreme said they will find me some switches to loan me to put in, get the building up and running if we need so. So till I got a date.
Charlie, don't have about this building any more than it already is. Just wait for what you need.
Well, that's.
Yeah, but can you go ahead and start
until we get a
setting-
date to understand when we're going to try to move. So I can find out, do we do this or not?
Can you go ahead and set the computers? at
We can
least have
start
them?
setting computers and we can hook up part of it. The biggest thing I was waiting on was I figured we'd have an elevator haul the stuff up. There's a lot of boxes carrying them up, man. And my big server rack's still sitting down there in the parking garage. We can't, unless we physically manually carry that 1,000-pound rack up the steps. Been waiting on the elevator for it too. They were going to crane it in there for me when they had this there, but it was too heavy for them to try to work it in, so they decided not to. wheel it in and run it up the elevator. But, we can live with servers here right now, not over there. So that's a beautiful part of that we can have in both places.
So if I understood what you said, your desk's still not put together so that you can,
On the third floor, we don't even have furniture in our offices. Matter of fact, the ceilings, they told me they replaced all the ceiling tile in that building, if so, then we got a leak. Cause where Johnny would sit, there's a big wet spot, and coming in my door is a big spot. Now, if they wet still or not, I don't know, I didn't get on the ladder and climb up and check it. I figured that's on IT. So, and then like the front desk where the guards sit, their computer, you gotta open the drawer, run the cable through the drawer and reach up in there and plug it into the wall. That's the only way into it. So, and I pointed this out to them and they didn't seem to care.
So Westlaw and everything, I wasn't aware of. Did you tell Danny so we can keep an eye on?
Yeah.
so to turn the building over at the end of the month, you still got how long to finish it up?
Probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depends on when I get my switches. Can do some of them wireless for right now. I got wireless access points to start putting them. I got them last week. Start putting in over there. We were hunting them some last night while we were walking around over there. Because they're marked on the ceiling tablet, 7 feet. And we had, like, Gary, we had a whole office, people in it. They've been running in there for 2 months. And then all of a sudden, all the jacks quit working in there. Notified Rycon, notified the contractors. I've not heard anything back. I was there with Rycon when he called, what's the guy in over Rycon,
Silly.
Alan?
Alan. When he called Alan, I haven't heard anything back from him. Nobody's been there. We got a cable running around the floor and Alan's another jack. And to defend the company, I was there when the guy certified all the cable. I saw him certify most of the cable. And what's going on is it's that real heavy wire and they pop loose out of jacks. And I got a feeling this is going to be an ongoing problem. Wi-Fi, we used Extremes. They got a software that figures out, what you need Wi-Fi wise. And it seems to be working good because we get good penetration over there. So I put them in to be able to get it. Your commission room, the courtroom, I was with Laura when she told her to go ahead and put it in the way you called for. And then we'll correct anything. I think it'll work the way.
And that's been how many months ago?
I don't know how long ago did you tell them to do that?
That's been several months.
So I've not heard anything from them or anything else. And then the security buttons, you can press them. They won't go anywhere. So we still got that issue with them. And then the push to exit buttons. I'd like for you all to go push to exit them. Just one time.
I believe the commissioners are aware of.
Oh, the one that you
they are
gotta use your
located.
foot for.
They won't, I can't get it with my foot. I
Gotta have
do it
long
with my
legs.
foot.
They're like under the desk back on the wall.
That's all behind the desk.
Yeah, we got some behind the desk. Don out them. We got the desk. Desk with metal plates over top of the jacks and everything. So I guess we gotta drag the desks out, plug it in, try to get the desks back. I don't know how we're supposed to do those. I mean, I can't even see the jacks. Johnny got down on the floor and crawled up under it. He's small enough to get up in there where he could see down behind the desk to find them. So. I don't know, I thought they were supposed to put panels in there that we can get to. Part of the desks, they put panels in. They cut the back panel and put the panel in so we can get to the jacks. Now, they missed a couple, but I can still get my hand back in there and plug them up. The others, they just took the whole panel out. There was, how many of those, Johnny? The whole, what, second floor?
Did you make a
had?
list of all this by any chance?
No,
Could you
Might be helpful.
look at the plans versus the as-bills? Would you do that?
well, they're not the same. We can try. And then, the funny one, you got class, protect your, employees there. You know, got it there. It took me a while to realize what was wrong. When I first started looking at it, then they took and put plexiglass on the desks. So you got a shield here and a shield here. But you got an opening here and they put a shield behind them, so you can't do any work with the people unless you get up and reach around the plastic and hand that. That's your furniture people. It's, if you don't, you know, if you're going through there, if you're not looking to hook something up, you don't notice it at first. But after you're there a little bit, start noticing it.
How soon can you have that list and check the,
I'll go through and do it tomorrow, or here in a little bit.
and look at what Trey said?
And,
Or somebody do that and get back to Laura as soon as you can. That sound like a plan?
What I like is like a list with a picture. And so an issue with a picture, so we can associate it. The way we have to document as well.
okay. Want even the water spots and some other stuff that I can see.
Yeah.
Click away. Only thing I can tell you is click away.
Because I noticed there's some places that should be hatch covered, it's not. And, if you don't know to look for it, you wouldn't notice it, it's, code, it should be covered.
No, just whatever you see. Like they said,
Document.
just click away and make a list.
Okay,
Thank you, Charlie and Johnny. Anything else?
just think Johnny, he's the one that had to crawl up underneath that stuff. Like a higher. I don't bid that one.
Okay. I received a text from Mayor Oliverio. He was a little bit late. Somebody was in his office. But he just wanted to say thanks for the work on the rail trails out in Lost Creek, and the citizens appreciate it, appreciate what has been done. Thanks, Mayor Dave. So I just wanted to share that. You're welcome. Skip anything. Now, number 10, 9. See, I tried to go to 9 and you keep me in line here. Consideration of approval of project fund requisitions for the payment of costs associated with the General Services Administration Building Project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued to the Harrison County Building Commission, A and B.
So
Okay, looks
B,
like-
we can forget about since it was voted on previously.
So A is the only one at this point.
Yes, ma'am.
Move to approve requisition number 80 for Thrasher Group.
Motion to approve requisition number 80 under 9A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. We have nothing under number 10, is that correct?
That is correct.
Review, discuss, consider intergovernmental agreement between the city of Stonewood, town of Nutter Fort, and County Commission for Harrison County, West Virginia, and Sheriff and Treasurer of Harrison County, West Virginia.
I'm not sure if you have had a chance to read through the intergovernmental agreement. And I did ask Trey to review to see if he saw anything wrong with it. mainly comes down to is they would like the tax office to collect the fire fees for them for Stonewood and Nutter Ford. And Randy Glasspool's here, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what the intergovernmental agreement is for.
It was offered to us when this all started, that the sheriff could collect as well and then distribute to the two municipalities.
I did talk to the sheriff yesterday about it. There was some wording in here that he wasn't exactly a fan of, but he could live with. And he is okay if the commission wants to pass this.
So basically, we would be depositing the fire fees.
We would be billing for it with
Billing.
the tax billings. The money would then come in to the county. It would then have to be separated into separate accounts, and then it would be distributed. So I've got a couple concerns. One, the county has an ordinance from 2003 that the providers are to directly bill for the service. Two, almost every time we deal with the first due area and there's a change in billing, it results in somebody or several people filing a lawsuit just because it looks different. And I wouldn't want the county to execute this agreement as it's presently drafted, because if you're gonna do this, the municipalities who are getting the benefit need to defend, indemnify, and assume all of the risk associated with the relationship. And that's not in this agreement. It's really just because people see a different, people say, why are my taxes high?
Right.
And then they allocate it to first due, and then they think the county here would be responsible for a change, even though it's not really a change. Usually it ends up, people either file a lawsuit or they complain to the attorney general, and then you have to get his office to straighten it out. So I would,
Whose idea is this?
This came to us from Stonewood and Nutter Ford. I'm not sure who the original idea.
Yeah, who offered it?
We have had a fire protection district down Route 20 and out in that area for many years without any reimbursement, basically, or any fees. And due to the fact that prices for all this is going up so much, the two municipalities got together and decided that it's best that we should probably start doing a fee for the service that we do. We do it for our municipalities, but we don't do it for the fire protection fee. So the two municipalities got together and decided that, well, since we have the fire protection district, that we would implement a fire fee for that area.
But you said it was offered. Who offered to do it from the county?
Jim Tarango.
Thank you, Randy.
Because Bridgeport does the same thing. They just send their own bills out and collect their own money.
so does
So
Shinstone.
doesn't Shinston.
Well, they do, if you're talking, I think they bill for insurances.
They have
Fire.
They have
Yeah.
first due fire fees. It actually went up Bridgeport's to the Supreme Court.
And then we have that as well, but it's just in the municipality.
Oh, you can
In the
do
city.
first due. I'm in a first due. I don't live in the city and I pay fire fee to the city of Bridgeport.
So you just go by the fire marshal's maps.
Yeah.
You all have the
Well,
ability.
that's what this is basically, is what like Bridgeport had done. And they thought the best way possible to get it done, since there was a little bit of who's gonna do it? If I do it, I get this much more. If this, so then it was brought up, why don't we just have the sheriff take care of it? And then have him handle the most.
Let's go and vote on this right now.
What's that?
Let's go and vote on this.
Okay,
Motion to approve. Yeah, motion to approve. Who's all in favor of this?
Not until some things are ironed out. And I don't know why it's one of the municipalities or both the municipalities couldn't do it themselves.
And if you open the door for the two, you're gonna open it for,
That's what I mean. I'm gonna make a
And I-
motion to approve right now, Madam President.
Okay. Motion's been made to approve. Any discussion? I just gave my discussion.
Okay.
I gave in mine,
Okay.
so
I'm about to get mine.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those that put no,
No.
Okay, no. Number 12, review, discuss, consider budget revisions, county clerk elections budget for fiscal year 2022-2023. It's a pleasure. John, do you want to say anything? Just basically from one line to another.
Correct. Yeah, just to rectify negative.
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve. Number 12. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 13, review, discuss, consider the Harrison County Commission giving the Development Corporation the property formerly known as the Farms at Maple Lake LLC.
Each one of the commissioners, you should have a packet up there with some information about the farms. At Maple Lake. Commissioner Hinkle, would you like to speak on that?
The property is basically landlocked. And it was purchased to go along with the Rich property to develop 12 acres. If this commission and the development authority would deed over the property, then they can go out and apply for grants to make a 12 to 13 acre piece of flat land. And the county would not be responsible for any of the matching funds.
So you're saying this property is landlocked right now?
It's developed up against, backed by houses, and the back part of it is backed up against Rish. And the other part's by a farmer, and then we have the airport, 16 acres that the airport used to have.
So we bought a piece of property that was landlocked.
No, we knew we were gonna access it through the airport. But since we're selling it off as two separate pieces now.
So you can, there's a road from the airport property to this property. It's not shown on this plat. I also find it interesting on all these documents that it appears that a stamp was used for signatures. Was there an appraisal done on this property when it was purchased?
I don't remember seeing a survey, but
A survey, I
or
mean,
an
an appraisal. I'm just curious how we got a piece of property and didn't get an appraisal.
Bought several pieces without appraisal.
Okay.
Laura, I'm sorry, I'm not ready to vote on this. I'm gonna ask the commission president to make a motion to table this so I can do some homework. I'm
I don't
sorry, guys.
disagree. I don't disagree. I mean, I would have had some of this.
I'm not prepared.
So you're making a motion to
To
table?
table to further notice.
Motion has been made to table. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No,
Motion carried. Number 14, review, discuss, consider a resolution authorizing the application of USDA Rural Business Development Grant Funds. That you?
Yes, it is. This is for the feasibility study for the property on 279. We are using the previous information we received from Thrasher for our cost estimates. The reason we chose 90,000 for this amount, this particular application is through the USDA, and Harrison County does not usually, we usually don't fit into any of the categories. We're too well off. We don't have population loss. We don't have persistent poverty. Our unemployment rate is always less than the state average. So this is actually a good opportunity for us to do something with the USDA. There's a point system, and if you ask for certain amounts of money, you receive more points, or lesser amounts of money, you receive more points. And also with this one, we're only asking for 1/3 of the cost of the estimated cost. So that's gonna give us more points. And it's kind of this application is kind of a long shot. So we need to up the points as much as possible. So that's why it's $90,000 and not the total cost of the estimated cost of the feasibility study.
Michelle, you said we're using the Thrasher.
So several months ago, there was a request for proposal put out. And I believe Thrasher was the only one that responded, and it was an extremely high response. And it's my understanding that whether we get the feasibility, these funds or not, there's going to be another request for proposal go out to try and get more interest and some competition and bring some of those costs down. But that's what, we have to have something to use for this application. So that those are the amounts that we're using. But it's great because we're gonna get high points for that. For only asking for 1/3 of the cost, the estimated cost of that proposal. We're not gonna use that proposal at all. We have to, under the grant terms, we have to go back out and bid it out again. It's just for reference for this application.
So what the grants department did a couple months ago, we had the RFP go out, and she was correct. Thrasher was the sole bidder and they won the bid for the feasibility study. This is where the situation came in, that they originally gave us a cost of, let's say, $30,000 for the feasibility study. Then it was brought up in county commission meeting, that no, we need to go along with the contract that was attached to the RFP. So if we went with the contract that was attached to the RFP, Thrasher's price then shot up to over $200,000. Right. So at that point in time, we did have the documents, that's what they're working off of, but we decided to go back out to bid for the feasibility study, and we're in that process now.
So what's pleasure on 14?
Do you have questions that I can maybe answer?
So you're looking for a feasibility study that doesn't cost as much.
We're looking for funds to cover a feasibility study regardless of the cost. I don't know how much it will actually cost. I don't know if it will cost $100,000 or $200,000, but if we can bring in money towards the cost of that feasibility study.
Move to approve the resolution for application for USDA Rural Business Fund Development grants to be used for continued economic growth and development in Harrison County. That's what you're trying to do, right?
Right, absolutely,
For the feasibility study.
right.
I don't think, yeah, it's all in there.
But if we use the Thrasher feasibility study that they gave us,
We can't use it.
why?
Because under the terms of the grant, we have to go out and bid it out again. That's one of the terms of the grant. Is if we were to be awarded these funds, we couldn't say, here's something we received previously. We have to create a new request for proposal and put that out for bid and open the bids and do the whole process. So we can't use it. It's not our be all end all.
And you
It's-
can apply for a grant for something that you've already contracted.
Right. So we're just using it as a reference of, oh, and as a matter of fact, for the grant, it looks really good because we're able to say, this is not a new idea. This has been in discussion for a long time. And we're finally to the point, the commission's finally got to the point where, yes, we put a request for proposal out and, oh, wait, we weren't happy with that. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna, do that all over again. But we can use that information in the grant. It makes us look proactive. It makes us look like we're already on top of everything. We're not using those numbers at the end. That's not gonna be the numbers we use. The numbers we use at the end will be from whoever responds from the future request for proposal and from whatever
But if we
companies.
use the Thrasher proposal that was high, we can start immediately. But if we,
No,
no,
we can't use that proposal at all. If we,
what?
because the grant will allow it, you have to.
What's,
get-
what, if we don't worry about the grant, can we begin immediately?
I guess that might be more for the county administrator answer, because I'm not 100% sure I have the right answer.
But if we use
if-
Thrasher's,
if
what
you-
they bid on, what we
Right.
put out, and we use the high number, we can start yesterday.
Yes, that's correct. If the
So we're
commission-
slowing down the process because we,
No, I believe the decision was previously made to go out for bid again.
That is correct.
That the Thrasher bid came in high. And the
Okay.
decision was made at that time. We only had one response, it's really
so
high.
this is part of the stall.
I'm sorry, that what's part of this all?
This is a part of the stall, what we have going on at 279.
No, this is, Trey asked us to look for money for a feasibility study. Trey did ask us that.
Yeah,
And that's what
after
we're
you
doing,
all-
that's.
The
and this was
Thrasher, I don't mean to interrupt, you, but the Thrasher bid came in at, I think, $260,000.
And what we're saying is we don't want to do that because,
Yeah, y'all voted not to do
Right.
that because of the cost.
Okay.
In terms of the feasibility, that would just be too much. And then Michelle and Gina said we might be able to get some money. And I said, I thought that was a great thing.
so if we don't get the money, then we've got with whatever we get anyway.
You'll get whatever you get with the new request for proposal that will go out.
And hopefully we get more competition.
All right,
And one-
Right,
all right, I see. what
yeah,
we're
it's not, there's no stall, it's simply just trying to get money, trying to get funds.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you, Madam President.
So,
Motion to approve.
okay, motion to approve, and it's already stated, correct? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 15, review, discuss, consider request to travel Travis Miller, 911 Incident Communications Center Manager class in Sutton from February 27, 2023 to March 1st, 2023.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve, number 15, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. So there's only one going?
The other one, decided not to go. There was originally two going to this training, but only one is going out.
Okay, number 16.
I just wanted to bring it to your attentions, the balance that we have left on the bonds for the GSA is $518,275.93. That is the balance that we have left to spend using the bond money.
You're in trouble, Mark.
We will be going over that number.
After the conversation with you and Charlie, we're in trouble.
Greater Harrison has been mapping all week for the sewage in Quietdale. They still have Circle Drive yet to do. So we're inching our way closer and closer to a wastewater treatment or waste treatment plant in Quietdale. Next, they'll begin the necessary right-of-way, securing the necessary right-of-ways down in that area. So that, I think, a very good update from Greater Harrison. Next week, we're going to have a city manager / mayor meeting next Thursday. I've invited all the mayors and their city managers are welcome to attend. And that's pretty much getting them together and let's talk in one room about what's going on around the county. So that will be happening next week. And otherwise, I'm still working on the budgets and getting ready to push that out. And then next week, Rocky will be giving me his certified numbers that he has for the budget, so I can plug those numbers in.
Number 17. Strickland.
I mean,
I'm looking at an email I got on sidewalk replacement.
Yes, sir.
Did they still slope the sidewalk? Did we do anything to make sure we didn't put any water over on the generals?
I will have to confirm that. That was just an email I got right before commission meeting, so I wanted to make sure that you guys saw that sidewalk.
I didn't realize they were putting it back this quick, so the pipes run and it's into the.
And we don't know if it's gonna.
That is correct.
It's just,
Here we go.
yeah, I'm looking that they've done the sidewalk. We didn't include any fixes to general and
Do we know that it's gonna work?
if it's gonna work.
I mean, to be tested.
The test for the generator.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm just trying to grasp what they did over there.
Then Ralph's been,
Ralph's been there every day, keeping tabs.
No, out at the airport last night, Chamber had a function. And it was greatly attended by the members of the Chamber of Commerce, so. So, everybody had a good time out there. That's it.
I have nothing. Motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I gotta be careful.